The Big Match says congratulations and welcome to the Footballer of the Year, Frank McClintock. Yes, and welcome again to the programme, and we have action from that mammoth Arsenal match of yesterday against West Bromwich Albion, though for our main match we go to Stamford Bridge for Chelsea against Coventry.
Smethurst, let's see if they can make something of it. And there's Webb going in, and there's Feely just passed.
And as I say, that thriller between West Brom and Arsenal.
They want a winning goal. It's too close to the goalkeeper, he lost it. What a fantastic piece of goalkeeping then by Wilson.
And also today, the climax of our 1971 Golden Goals competition. This is what you've been waiting for. The panel has met, and later in the programme we name the winner and the winning viewer. And as an extra bonus too, because we also have the goals from two other games from yesterday, Newcastle against West Ham, and that vital second division game between Norwich City and Cardiff City. So it really is a busy big match programme for you to enjoy today. Let's start it all off now at Stamford Bridge and Chelsea against Coventry. A damp and a windy day, and a match between two sides with contrasting outlooks. Chelsea still heavily committed, of course, in European competition. Coventry with nothing left except the opportunity now to play good and relaxed football. And because of injuries, it's an odd-looking Chelsea side, although Peter Bonetti is back in goal. However, their problems are up front because of injury, and now there's a first chance for 21-year-old Peter Feely, former amateur with Enfield. As for Coventry City, they look strong in defence and midfield, but a little shy in attack, and a lot will once more depend on the prompting of their youngster Willie Carr, still only 20, and more impressive with every season. The Chelsea crowd, beautifully decked out, now waits for referee Keith Stiles of Barnsley.
So Chelsea then defending the goal to our right, all in blue, get us away. Coventry today in their second strip of green and black stripes with black shorts. And Feely getting a touch of the ball, rather a hefty pass back there to Dempsey that made him scamper back to Peter Bonetti back in this Chelsea side, who has a testimonial, in fact, on Wednesday week here against Standard Liège. Nobody can doubt that if anybody deserves a testimonial, it must be Peter Bonetti after his years of wonderful service here at Stamford Bridge. Here's John Hollins. And a throw then to Chelsea. Ron Harris with it, the Chelsea skipper. Chelsea, who have a good record against Coventry since Coventry were promoted. Good play there by Feely. That'll do him a lot of good. A nice little ball there to Smethurst. And now to Hollins. Weller and Boyle combining on the right. John Boyle, good looking cross. And my goodness, Feely was very nearly in there with a chance for a header. Smethurst here as well. But Feely, in fact, got in very close there with a header. Now it's Hunt. And he must have handled that ball as the ball seemed to hang there a little while. It'll be Dempsey then to take it. Chelsea's throw given. Well, no, it looks as though it's a free kick given. And Harris taking it fairly quickly and a short one to Houseman. Parker getting it away, but only as far as Hudson. Playing it wide to Webb, who'd stayed up, but Catlin was jumping well. Weller getting in! Oh, and another fine save by Glazier. But what an excellent shot by Weller. Webb to Bonetti. Dempsey, Harris, and now Smethurst. Houseman. One towards the near post. Feely almost getting it on the end of it, but in fact put behind by Blockley. With a little more experience, Feely would have got ahead to that one. A beautiful cross by Houseman. But in fact he must have been fractionally offside, that kick being taken outside the 6-yard area. Rafferty, and in goes Webb, and again Rafferty has slipped him. Still Rafferty, good play by the young number 9. Finally stopped though by Dempsey. What a good jinking run there, beating that tremendous assault from David Webb in the first place. So little space for him, and he really made very good use of it. So from behind Bonetti's goal, a fairly crowded penalty area, waiting for this corner from Willie Carr. Blockley looking for it, and Blockley getting it, and Ernie Hunt there, but the whistle had gone. Probably a foul by Ernie Hunt, or possibly by Blockley as he jumped for it. But a free kick to Chelsea, and Peter Bonetti with it. Blockley, so good and strong in the air, that number 5, and now Carr to Clements. Clements going past a strong challenge from Hollins, and still David Clements. The real strength that you need. Machin trying to get a shot in, and finally it's Hudson who gets it away to Weller. Throw given to Chelsea. Hudson with it. Smethurst. All a little too close and tight there, and Boyle with a chance to thump it into that Coventry half, where Blockley once more there to meet it. Weller. Crowd getting a little impatient with Chelsea, but here's Hudson. And Houseman there! Oh, and my goodness, it's Smith who finally gets it back to Glazer after Blockley had completely missed his kick. Weller. Carr was snapping at him, and then it goes to Boyle with Carr snapping at him again. And Carr's persistence probably gave Clements that chance, and now it's Carr again to Hunt. Played back again for Carr, and on the far side Rafferty. Turned in again, and Webb this time to get it away. Only as far as Smith. Crossed towards the far side by Smith. Bonetti there, losing it, and it goes in off Rafferty, but it's disallowed. The challenge on Bonetti was unfair. Coventry fans in the crowd don't like it, but there can't be many doubts about that. Bonetti under a lot of pressure there, but in all honesty he didn't grab it with all his old customary style and assurance. Weller. And the whistle goes for half-time. A first half that has been particularly undistinguished, apart from a couple of good saves by Bill Glazier in the Coventry goal. Peter Bonetti, who had one pushed past him just before half-time, but disallowed. Still to come on the big match, of course. We have highlights of that very important match in the Midlands, West Bromwich Albion against Arsenal, the final result of our Golden Goals competition, but the half-time score here at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 0, Coventry 0, and we'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. So after a disappointing first half, Coventry get us away at the start of the second half. Hollins, Chelsea obviously influenced by the fact that they are playing 4 games in these next 8 days. Today, then on Monday they're at home to Burnley, on Wednesday they're away to Manchester City in the Cup Winners' Cup, and next Saturday away to Ipswich in the league. So clearly they've got one eye on the programme also that's coming up. But certainly, in all conscience, it's been a very undistinguished first half, and let's hope that they can do something for us in the second half. Free kick then to Coventry. As I suppose one should always remember that people have paid to see it in any case. There's Rafferty waiting for it, Clements also waiting for it, and there's the free kick. Willie Carr getting ahead to it against John Hollins, which was good going. Feely and Blockley, and once more Parker there, very assured indeed, that young centre-back. And back to Glazier. Harris. Weller. Oh, he did well there, Weller, and he was taken from the back again by Catlin. And Boyle is absolutely furious there with Catlin. The referee having a word with him as well. John Boyle really had to be restrained. Although, in all honesty, John Boyle has done 1 or 2 of those himself on David Clements. So he may not be the best man to protest. But he certainly was giving Catlin a few of his thoughts. There's John Boyle. And a free kick. Feely rising very well there, but it goes straight to Willie Carr. Harris to David Webb. Hudson. Weller. Harris again. Nodded away by Machin to Mortimer. Now to Carr. Carr putting it straight into the body. Oh, and Carr taking down, Boyle taking down Carr, and while the referee was not looking, Rafferty goes on, with Carr and Boyle having a little affair of their own, which the referee in fact noticed, so he had to have eyes in 2 places at once, watching Rafferty go on and watching Boyle and Carr getting involved. And now Peter Houseman. And Smethurst going in on it, but not in behind, surely for the corner. Yes, indeed, the linesman didn't want to give it, but the referee said yes, that came off a Coventry head. Young Bobby Parker. So it's going to be Chelsea's corner, and quite honestly, it is only from these set positions where they bring a few men forward that they have any real threat for Coventry in their own area. Here's Smethurst, let's see if they can make something of it. And there's Webb going in! And there's Feely just past! That really looked as though it had to be, with Webb going in so hard on it, and young Peter Feely very nearly finishing it off for them. So now it's Hudson to take a corner from the other side. Oh, and he's made a hash of it. Straight there for Ernie Hunt to clear it for Coventry City. Mortimer, Houseman, back to Boyle. Feely off in chase again, and Webb is staying up. But a goal kick to Coventry City. David Webb, who, as I say, enjoys coming forward, and of course against Manchester City was played as an emergency centre forward. Harris, Machin, Carr, Ron Harris, and Coventry's throw. Yes, Catlin was not taking that throw from within a yard or so from where it went off, and so it's got to be taken again. This time by Machin. Harris, Feely, and Catlin turning it back to Glazier. Boyle. Parker beating Feely, but here's Houseman for Chelsea, played for Hudson, and now to McCready. Chelsea having a few men forward now. Houseman to Boyle. Boyle with a chance to cross it, and Smethurst! Oh, a lovely goal by Derek Smethurst, beautifully angled in. At last the game has got a goal, and a very fine one too. From that cross, Smethurst reading it beautifully and giving Glazier no chance at all. So with something like 13 minutes to go, Chelsea at last have broken through that Coventry barrier. When that for a long time looked as though it would be the last thing they were able to do. Coventry themselves didn't seem capable of scoring, and in fact haven't scored in the last 4 away games. But similarly, Chelsea looked as though they could find no way through. But now Coventry have got to come out. Here's Clements. Well, I suppose the Chelsea camp are a good deal happier now, though Dave Sexton on the left there doesn't look all that pleased by it all. I suppose he's probably concerned that nobody gets injured before Wednesday. Machin. Now Smith. Machin again. Houseman. And now Carr. Can he lift Coventry now to find some way through the Chelsea wall? There's Webb in very quickly for Chelsea. Puts a new spring into their stride. Feely shrugging off Parker and almost getting the ball through to Houseman, but that'll be a corner to Chelsea. Bill Glazier might be under a little bit of pressure now. Houseman with the corner. And Webb going in! And it's there, number 2! Well, that was credited by the way they are going to it to young Peter Feely. But I don't think he could have known too much about it, but Chelsea are now 2 into the lead. So Chelsea have scored 2 in 2 minutes. And Blockley still arguing with the referee. There's Bill Glazier. 2 Coventry players still coming into that Chelsea half, arguing with that referee, now going back, as you can see. But referee there, Keith Styles, had no doubt that that was a good goal, and it puts Chelsea 2 into the lead. Now Hunt. Going past McCready. He's got Rafferty in the middle for him, but he's got to get past Dempsey. He'll have another go. That's a better looking one as Bonetti catches that one beautifully. Houseman, play on, says the referee. Houseman going on, and going on, down he goes, and a free kick. Matter of what, 2 yards outside that Coventry penalty area, left of centre, given away by Jeff Blockley. The Coventry wall there, anything but 10 yards back. Hunter Machin in there, and Smith, and Mortimer, and Houseman joining them. Hudson is going to take it, or is Weller? Both loitering behind that ball. The wall is waiting and anxious. And they are claiming that Willie Carr is anything but 10 yards off the ball, and I sympathise with Chelsea, although the referee is saying get on with this game. No, maybe he's not. He's saying don't take this kick until I've gone back 10 yards. Now there's the 10 yards. Let's just see how far back that Coventry wall will go. Will he get them back all the way, or won't he? They're reluctant to go, and they've got to go, and if they don't go, he ought to start taking some names. That is showing dissent, and they've got to go back. They have got to go back. But they're not, And I suppose the referee felt that was a compromise. Weller now. And there's Smethurst straight into the arms of Glazier. And the referee, in fact, saying there was an infringement on the far side in any case. But a really exciting bit of action for all that. Machin. But Hudson. To Harris. Lockley again, winning it in the air. Weller trying to pick it up again. Bundled off the ball by Mortimer, and it's Catlin. Boyle going in on Mortimer. Goodness, that was a rather cruel challenge again from the back. Boyle again. McCready. Boyle. Straight to Machin. Hunt to Mortimer. Someone's got to go for him. Mortimer going on, and Dempsey finally just prodding that back to Bonetti, but the whistle had gone for a foul against Chelsea on the edge of that area. We've had over half a minute of injury time at the end of the game, so Coventry haven't too much time. And certainly with the time that it would take to get this free kick going, because no extra time, of course, is allowed for free kicks. There's even if they got a goal from this one, they wouldn't have time to get a second one. Catlin in the Chelsea wall. Clements and Carr playing it, in fact, for Ernie Hunt to drive one. Oh, a fine goal by Ernie Hunt. That was well beyond the dive of Peter Bonetti. Coventry, who really do find something special with their free kicks, found something special with that one. Touched off nicely for Ernie Hunt to hammer it past Bonetti. So Coventry pull it back to 2-1, and we've now played just about 2 minutes of injury time. Boyle, a long one forward, and the whistle has gone. The end of the game. Coventry having pulled that one back almost at the end. Here's Smethurst, who got Chelsea on the way with the first goal, and young Feely, who got the second one in his first game for Chelsea. And then, of course, right at the end, Ernie Hunt hammering in that free kick to make the final score here. We had a nice late flurry. The final score here at Stamford Bridge: Chelsea 2, Coventry City 1.
So, a darn good finish to a disappointing game, and the news that came out of that game was that John Hollins, who went off injured, in fact has a knock on his knee, and they'll decide tomorrow whether he's fit to play against Manchester City on Wednesday. The same goes for Peter Osgood as well. Still to come on the programme today, highlights of West Bromwich Albion against Arsenal, Newcastle West Ham, Norwich City against Cardiff City, and the final of our golden goals as well. But now to take a closer look at Chelsea, Jimmy Hill.
Well, in fact, it would be a very brief look to what was, in some ways, a strange game yesterday. The first half, there were 1 or 2 yawns, I think, from the crowd. But there were flashes of very good football from the young players in the match. And some, I was pleased to see from some of Coventry's youngsters. But like a lot of matches, this one had disputed points. Coventry got the ball in the net on 45 minutes, and it was disallowed. Afterwards, there was a lot of discussion. Should it have been a goal, or shouldn't it? Let's have a look at it now and clear that up.
Turned in again, and Webb this time to get it away.
We can see it now from the normal angle. Want you to watch as this ball's crossed and goes there. There's Peter Bonetti. Do you reckon he was fouled there or not? We can look at it once again now from the camera behind the goal to make sure. I think it's quite clear that number 4, Machin, does run straight into Bonetti. You can see here how agile a goalkeeper has to be to reposition. But just watch. Bonetti's there. The ball is coming over now. There's the cross, and just watch number 4 Machin coming at him. There he is. He hits him nowhere near the ball, and I think it's perfectly clear that Bonetti would have gone under that ball anyway, and had Machin not run into him, then it would have been, the goal would have been allowed. Now here's the Chelsea one from the corner. Watch Glazier as he comes out in slow motion here. There's David Webb up in front of him, jumping for the ball, and Glazier can't get a fist to it. And see where it goes in the goal from, off Feely's back. There it is. The camera doesn't always lie. This time it reveals the exact truth.
Now some more action for you to enjoy, and it's that vital match at West Bromwich Albion yesterday, with Arsenal still under great pressure, but they fought magnificently in a game that really had its full quota of goals and thrills as well. The pictures come from ATV, and the commentator is Hugh Johns. West Bromwich Albion here are the team in the striped shirt as we take it up in the first half.
Coming to him in no mean fashion either. Hughes searching for Askell. Askell, good ball, Suggett. And that took a touch, surely off somebody. Tony Brown appealing for a corner. Suggett whacking it across the goal. The Albion players in the goal mouth still appealing for the corner. I certainly thought it touched a gunner's boot as it went across there. Bob Wilson taking the goal kick, and rather fortunate, I think, at this moment not to be a goal down with that cross ball. Hughes, the through ball. McNabb cutting it off. Wilson able to use his right foot. Brown for Hartford. Askell picking up Brown. Askell back for Hartford. Tony Brown. Bobby Hope. Hartford's run well. Corner given. Hartford ran very well for that return ball from Bobby Hope. West Bromwich has Hartford now taking up his position in the goal mouth. West Bromwich Albion, their first corner of the game. Bobby Hope to take it. Breaking out here for Lovett. Lovett going on. In behind everybody. Brown was there, but Lovett might have done better if he'd hit the high one across the box. Askell was free on the far side. Askell breaking out now through Story. Kennedy's offside. Pat Rice forward to Story. Story in a little difficulty from time to time this afternoon. It's Hartford now. Askell, Hartford, the return ball. Hartford! Oh, what a great little goal! What a magnificent little goal from Asa Hartford. His first goal for 5 months, and he won't do much better than that this season. 37 minutes gone. Asa Hartford gives West Bromwich Albion a 1-0 lead. Let's go back and see that little interplay between Askell and Hartford again. Well, there's the scoreline, 1-0, and that's only the second player to have scored a goal against Bob Wilson. Here he is, Asa Hartford, only the second player to have scored a goal against Bob Wilson in some 9 or 10 games. Terry Payne of Southampton did it, but the game was won by Arsenal, 2-1. So Asa Hartford has really done something in this game. Bradford getting the touch, but didn't really intend to play it there. Hartford in, McClintock in real trouble on the slippery pitch. Kennedy quickly robbed by Merrick. Askell in hard. Askell has. Brown forward with him. Trying one himself. And by golly, very nearly got past Wilson with it. There's Jeff Askell. So we're continuing with the same ball, which will please West Bromwich Albion. That's the one they put into the net just now. Corner kick. Obviously West Brom thought they were going for a goal kick there. 2 minutes to half-time. Arsenal get their second corner of the game. Armstrong with it. Oh, it's a good one. And hooked away for George. And it must be McClintock. Gotta be McClintock. But the fellow who really set that up was Charlie George. There he is, number 11. He's the man who really set it up. McClintock's job to get on the end of it was relatively simple, but he's a happy fella, the captain of Arsenal. 1-1 the scoreline. We can go back now and see what it was that Charlie George set up with his shot. Here's the scoreline with about 1 minute to go to half-time. Bobby Hope. Lovett wanting assistance. It's John Kay.
Still more thrills then coming up in the second half.
Getting it way across here, and Astle's got a long way to go for it. McClintock losing it. Astle having himself a good game here this afternoon. Suggett, Astle again. Astle looked very much like something or other, but he's picked up an offside flag, referee Clive Thomas, from the far side of the field. Armstrong picking up Graham. Good challenge then from Lovett. George picking up George Armstrong. Down the line is Radford. Kennedy sprinting to get across into the box. Armstrong again, back for McNabb. Radford spending a fair bit of time forward in a left side position. Here's John Samuels on as substitute for Pat Rice. Charlie George waiting for Story to make the run. Hartford has scored an own goal. Hartford has scored an own goal, and he is sick. Came back magnificently to go with Story. So Hartford, who gave West Bromwich Albion the lead, has now given Arsenal the lead at 2-1. We can go back now and see that unhappy little man's dreadful moment. John Kay, good dummy then to put Albion forward again. Tony Brown only as far as the crowd, and a throw in to Arsenal. Tony Brown really not having too much of a look in this second half. A couple of his blasts in the first half went desperately close to increasing his 27 goals total, but he hasn't seen much of it in the second half as the Arsenal offside trap very nearly came unstuck then. They're saved as the ball goes into touch. Bob McNabb. John Kay. Wild little touch on for Astle. And now Tony Brown. And he doesn't miss those. Tony Brown, as we've just said, so little of the game for him to see in the second half. Almost inspired by my words, and drags a goal back for West Bromwich Albion with 4 minutes to go. 2-2 the score. So let's go back and see how Tony Brown tied it all up then. Oh, Tony Brown, who scored one against Leeds last week, gets one here against Leeds' rivals at the top of the table, Arsenal, and the scoreline tied up at 2-2. And now it's all to play for. Arsenal, one would suspect, would be happy with a point with a little less than 4 minutes to go. On the other hand, they can't afford to lose this one now. Well, Bob Wilson finds a third man to put a ball past him. Hartford and Brown this afternoon. And here's Kennedy. Armstrong is open on the left side. Free kicks given, though. Occasion when perhaps the referee might have given an advantage situation. Armstrong. Weil now back in defence again. Albion having got back in the game. Suggett breaking out. McNabb went with him all the way. Story for Samuels. That's Hartford's ball. Bobby Hope. Albion supporters really picking it up now. Merrick breaking on the left side. They want a winning goal. It's too close to the goal. Everything lost it. What a fantastic piece of goalkeeping then by Wilson. He came, lost it, and he still managed to get back and save it. The mark of a real class tradesman, that. Here's Lovett. Astle down. Brown trying to get the touch, but free kick given against Astle. 2 minutes ago. And many of the spectators who'd started to file away from this game beginning to come back in again now. Bob Wilson, the saviour of the side, with that last save of his. Tremendous stuff. John Wall losing it to Radford. Wins it back. Kennedy for Radford, though. Graham, and Armstrong is breaking on the left as usual. Referee Thomas having a look at his watch. Hughes intercepting. Fair bit of injury time played now. 2 minutes of injury time gone. Wonder if Radford has time to get this. He doesn't. Referee Thomas has pointed to the centre circle. It's all over. Arsenal have got themselves a precious point towards the total they need for the First Division Championship title.
Indeed, a precious point, as Hugh John said. But Leeds United, of course, got 2 points yesterday. That still leaves Leeds 1 point behind Arsenal. And, of course, they've played one game more. But the tension up there at Ellen Road tomorrow night when Leeds meet Arsenal really, I imagine, will be unbearable. A tremendous finish to a really exciting season. Well, Arsenal certainly were given a boost today when Frank McClintock was named as the Footballer of the Year by the Football Writers Association. He polled the most votes. Tommy Smith of Liverpool polled the second most votes. So Frank was first, Tommy was second. We're delighted to have Frank McClintock in our studio today. With him, Jimmy.
Well, in fact, welcome, Frank, to the programme today, and many congratulations from us all. What does it really mean to you? How highly do you rate this honour?
Well, it's an honour I never thought I'd ever get myself. I never considered myself to be Footballer of the Year. I was always thinking about doing well for Arsenal and Arsenal maybe winning something. And I used to see maybe Dave Mackay, Billy Bremer and people like this going up for it and Joe's best. I never considered myself at all, but it's a tremendous thing.
Do you look upon yourself, when you talk about Mackay, it's almost as if you look upon them as different animals. Do you look upon yourself as a star now, like a Dave Mackay or a Bremner?
Well, this doesn't change me in any way how I think about myself. I think I'm not a great individual such as Best by any means. You know, he can win a game on his own. I can't do that. I think I need a lot of help and support from my teammates, which I have had this season, tremendous amount. And this has helped me to win it, I think.
Do you think as modern football has changed that journalists and even managers are looking and appreciating the all-round qualities of a player like yourself rather than an individualist?
I think in my case anyway, this season I think this has been the case, you know, that that they probably can't see me as an out-and-out attacker or a great defender.
You used to be in the middle of the field.
I was at one time, yes, but I think maybe they can see some qualities in me that can be put to good advantage. You know?
How much do you owe to Arsenal Club and the Arsenal players in this award?
Well, everything really. This honour I really owe to all my teammates, I think, and to Bertie Mee, the manager, for supporting me during it, and Don Howe, especially to Don, because Don's helped me a tremendous amount moving from wing half to centre half. It was completely new to me, and I was still wanting to go forward when we had the ball, you know, which is a common thing for an attacking player. And Don gradually kept on taking me in coaching lessons, individual coaching lessons, and I think it's paid off now.
Yeah. In fact, for a player who once nearly left Arsenal, it's been a very happy ending indeed, and I bet you're very glad you made that decision the right way. We've got to talk now about the match of the century. I hope it doesn't turn out to be the fight of the century tomorrow night. Leeds have picked up 1 point on you.
Yes.
How's the spirit in the Arsenal camp this morning?
Oh, I think it's very high, really, Jimmy. We were disappointed yesterday right after the game because in the second half I thought we had tied the game up well. They hadn't hardly had any shots at all in the second half, and then they scored about 4 minutes, so it was a disappointing end. But the boys are back in a good mood again, and we're confident we can do well.
Yeah. Are you going for a draw? Do you think a draw will be satisfactory, or you go for a win, of course? But I mean, would you be satisfied tomorrow night with a draw?
Yes, I think so, Jimmy. A draw would be a very good result for us up there. But we feel as though we've got to attack Leeds. If you start going out and just defending against Leeds, they'll pulverise you. Eventually they'll get their goal sometime. So we've got to try and go out and go for goals ourselves, you know. Well,
I hope you go for goals, and I thought everybody expects Spurs fan would hope you to score them tomorrow night. But let's have a look at the song now, this wonderful song which we've got for the Arsenal fans. What do you think of it?
Very surprised, really. I didn't know it was going to be as good as that, but they made a recording of it, all the players, and it's come out terrific, I think.
Well, in fact, congratulations, Frank McClintock, on your playing award as Player of the Year, and indeed on your singing with the Arsenal lads.
The Arsenal! The Arsenal!
Record that's now available in the shops, and I'm sure that's what the Arsenal fans will be singing at Wembley for the final. But we go from singing to some more action for you, because we have goal snippets now from two other games from yesterday. First, Newcastle against West Ham, and the point, of course, that West Ham got up there made absolutely sure that they stay in the First Division, as we'd predicted on the big match in those dark days of a few months ago. So, Newcastle against West Ham.
Back to Smith. Now Gibb. For Clark, and header pushed in by Tudor. More now to Redknapp, and this game really burning. Redknapp, he's got Hurst on his left, he's got Moncur still to beat. He's beaten him, now the chance, and finished off beautifully by Jeff Hurst. And it's allowed. Appeals, I think, almost for offside, half-hearted appeals, but no doubt about that.
Meanwhile, Cardiff City took a vital step towards promotion to the First Division when they went to Norwich City, where it's always so difficult to win. But yesterday, Cardiff made it.
Murray now pushing forward to Bell, the left back. Warboys on the far post looking for one. Warboys coming in on it. Off Keelan to Clark, he must score. So Cardiff going to the lead. Brian Clark, his 15th league goal of the season. And Derek anyway. Warboys chasing for this one with Keelan. Warboys gets it. It's there. What a brilliant bit of play by Warboys. A moment of half decision by Norwich City. A pattern. On the right there is Anderson if he wants to change direction. That's for Anderson. But it's 1 against 3 there unless he crosses one in. Sylvester. It's Edie, the goalkeeper, who's done so many good things, who was late getting down for that one.
So a great win there for Cardiff, which I'm sure all our viewers in the Harlech television area must have enjoyed very much, although Cardiff still have to play this vital game away to Sheffield United yet, and that, of course, could decide everything. But now it's time for the final of our 1971 Golden Goals competition. Competition that, as you will know, we've run again in conjunction this season with the Evening News and the Evening Standard. And this week our panel of Bernard Joy of the Evening Standard, Vic Railton of the Evening News, Jimmy Hill and our special guest Gordon Banks met to decide the winner. Let's first of all eavesdrop on their conversation.
The best, wouldn't you agree? Yeah. Well, in fact, I've got to go. Yes. I've got to go to talk about Martin Chivers' goal in the League Cup final for a number of reasons. One, because I like the way that Peters stole in and really nicked the ball, stole it from the other side, and got possession in that very vulnerable position. And Mullery's chip, the accuracy of that chip and the way in which Chivers took it down on his instep. I think that was the thing that set up the chance. Yes, and then, of course, after that, he held everybody off. They were pushing and shoving him, and he showed his strength and tucked it in the corner.
I think you've got to compare that, though, with Rodney Marsh's, isn't it? More or less a similar circumstance.
Yes, they both had the back towards the goal.
Yeah,
which was,
Rodney deliberately took under defence then.
Yeah.
Martin sort of blundered a way through with the ball, more or less.
And they talk about the difference between taking them on.
Rodney, with the arrogance of a great player, said to himself, there's two men between me and goal, I'm going to beat them and I'm going to shoot.
And in both cases, they both were aware of the goal in the manner in which they shot.
What about Alan Gowling's goal, Gordon?
Well, I liked Alan Garling's goal because of the simple reason that Alec came out for this cross, Alec Stepney, and it was a so good a punch. I mean, it carried virtually to the halfway line, and Alan Garling brought the ball under control, and he'd got a man coming towards him. First of all, he knocked it past him. He started to run towards goal, and then of course you had the other defenders backing him up. Then coming in for a bite, he beat. I think
Ronnie Harris
altogether
had a
it was
go at
three.
him.
Yes, I think it was three tackles he beat off, and finally finished up with a very hard shot that Peter couldn't quite hold. And I thought this was a good goal.
Well, Bernard, will you talk about Kennedy's goal as an ex-Arsenal player from the past?
I'd love to. Mainly because everybody's condemning Arsenal nowadays for not having flair. But I think this goal showed they got flair. Look at the way George sells the dummy to the entire Chelsea defence by jumping over the ball. And it's not the only time they do it. They did one against Gordon in the semi-final replay up at Villa Park.
Yes.
And this is now a part of their game.
John Hollins, Vic, I know this was your nomination to start with. Talk about that for us.
Well, I think Hollins is the goal for me because, first of all, he was running when he took the ball. He went through, he shot. It hit the post, and then he kept running and he shot again and he got it under the bar. In 9 out of 10 players, I would think that when they regained the possession of the ball, they would have shot over the bar.
Well, that discussion, in fact, went on for fully an hour, and finally the panel came up with their order of merit, which I'll give you now. Now, as in previous years, I'll start with the goal that finished 6th, and then we'll move up through to the rest to the winner. So the panel decided that the 6th best goal was, in fact, the goal scored by Jimmy Robertson. That's goal E for Ipswich against West Ham.
It's falling for Morris. Ipswich, if anything, now beginning to get the upper hand. There's a good-looking ball there from Morris to Robertson. He can take on McDowell. And a goal! What a great goal by Robertson! That really did put West Ham back on their heels.
The 5th best goal was goal D, scored by Martin Chivers of Spurs against Aston Villa.
Hamilton to McMahon. Now they are stopping and looking, and Spurs are attacking it much quicker as Chivers now. Good control by Chivers. And he's done it again! Martin Chivers! Oh, what a goal by Chivers!
The 4th best, goal C, Alan Gowling for Manchester United against Chelsea.
United for the moment under siege with everybody in their half, bar Bonetti. Webb with a kick. Smethurst looking for it, and my goodness, Stepney came out a long way to punch that one away. And away goes Gowling now. Harris is chasing him. He's done very well already, and he's still going on. Will he get a shot in? Oh my goodness! And it's a goal, was it? Yes, it's a goal! A goal is given by the linesman, and that really was a goal in a million by Alan Gowling.
Now we come to the top 3, and the 3rd best, goal F, scored by Ray Kennedy for Arsenal against Chelsea.
Hudson and McClintock. Charlie George again bursting in on the scene there, and McCready going with him, but he still found Radford, and now George Graham. Armstrong coming in on it. Beautifully played there by Armstrong. Oh, and a dummy there, let's Kennedy in! Oh, a fine goal by Kennedy!
The 2nd best goal now, goal B, Rodney Marsh for Queen's Park Rangers against Birmingham.
Summerhill harried and hustled all the way by Clement, and hustled into an error, and Ferguson is right there in the middle of it. Will it come through to Marsh? Oh, look at that for skill by Marsh! Oh, and what a goal! Rodney Marsh's hat-trick!
So that leaves us with the Golden Goals winner of 1971, and it's John Hollins' goal that he scored for Chelsea against Arsenal last August.
To Hinton. And now Harris. Hollins has gone off on another break and Nelson's gone with him. Hollins! Good work by Hollins! Oh, against the post! Can he do it? He can! John Hollins! Oh, what a beautiful goal!
So, John Hollins the winner. Yesterday I broke the news to him and asked for his reaction.
I'm over the moon. I feel great now. I think it was... I didn't see the goal at first when you first put the goal on television. Every time I see it, I still get the same old feeling inside. I think to myself, am I going to get it? But I'm very pleased indeed. Great honour.
Would you say that's the greatest goal you've ever scored?
I think so, yes. I think so.
And I think a lot of people now must agree with John Hollins. Incidentally, quite a weekend for John Hollins, because last night John was presented with Chelsea's Player of the Year award for the second successive season, and then today, of course, Golden Goals. So the final order then, just once more: the winner, John Hollins; second, Rodney Marsh; third, Ray Kennedy; fourth, Alan Gowling; fifth, Martin Chivers; and sixth, Jimmy Robertson. Well, this year, in fact, we've had an enormous response for our Golden Goals competition, as you can see there. In fact, it was so big that I had to call in a bit of help to sort out a few of them, and very pleasant work it was indeed. But finally, we came up with the winner, the first one out of the bunch, in fact, that got the goals in exactly the correct order of merit. And the winner is Mr. N. Thompson, 267 Havering Road, Romford in Essex. This is the winning entry that he sent in to us. And that's the entry that allows Mr. Thompson to be our guest next week on The Big Match, and also to meet all the star players at a special party that we're running afterwards. To the thousands of you who were unlucky this year, thank you very much indeed for taking the trouble to enter our Golden Goals competition. We hope that you had a little bit of fun with us in this year's competition. So there we are. That's the end of a very busy programme today. I hope very much that you're going to join me for On the Ball next Saturday lunchtime, for the big match, of course, next Sunday afternoon as well. We leave you today not with a goal, but with a very sentimental moment in football, because yesterday Manchester United's home game was the last home game for Sir Matt Busby, one of the great managers of our time, as manager of the club. And of course, after they'd beaten Ipswich Town yesterday, the crowd came up and they gave Old Trafford that ringing cry that they know so well: "We want Matt."